If you've ever had a week where one piece of content goes gangbusters, it's skyrocketing, it's almost going viral, and the next sinks without a trace, don't worry, you are not cursed. And the algorithm isn't actually out to get you. Most of the time, hit and miss content comes down to one simple thing: clarity or lack thereof it. Because when we don't fully understand our audience, we don't know who we're talking to. Our message lands by accident instead of intention. And we want our messages to land with intention so that it is connecting with the right people that we want to work with. So today I'm going to share with you 3 quick tests I use with my clients all the time. They're simple, they're practical, and they'll show you what your audience actually wants from you. So let's make content a little bit less guesswork and a lot more connection so that you are delivering content that your audience wants and you know who they are. As business owners, you can create the most beautiful content in the world, but if it's not speaking to the right people or speaking in the right way that resonates, it's never going to land properly with the people. It can be stunning, it can be beautiful, it can have lights, glitters, LEDs, all of those things. But if it is not speaking to our audience, then it's a waste of time. To know your audience or have audience insight doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need long surveys, you don't need sticky notes covering your desk everywhere or a PhD in analytics, because let's face it, I have none of those. Maybe I do have the sticky notes. You just need a few intentional moments of listening and observing your audience, because our audience will tell us what they want. And that's what these 3 tests are about. They're going to help us cut through the noise and see what your audience is genuinely responding to, not what you think they should respond to, because that's a big thing in business. We quite often prejudge our audience and we expect that they're going to respond to something, or we want them to respond to something. And we've forgotten where we are in the journey is not where our audience is. And once we get that clarity, everything else becomes clearer. We start from planning our content to writing offers and showing up with confidence. So let's get in there, shall we? And let's find out what your audience wants and how you can better place your message towards them. First up is the engagement test. This is where we take a quick look at what's already working, because we don't want to break what's already working. So we're going to head back over our content over the last 2 or 4 weeks, possibly even months. I actually like to go back 2 or 3 months when I'm initially reviewing stuff with client, whether that's posts, videos, newsletters, podcasts, whatever you've created. And we're going to ask ourselves a few questions. What got people commenting or sharing? Start marking it down. And if you're using progress trees like we have in the marketing planner or from my Ideas, Impact and Marketing Circle, you can start coloring those little circles in and going, these things worked. What sparked conversation or created a follow-up question? So we could color in a circle there and write that post in, or we can just note those things down. But once we start to note those things down, we start to know where we're going. And what did people save, rewatch, or respond to privately? Because now in the world of social media, not all engagement is public. Lots of times it's the occasional save here, or it's a watch multiple times, or they've sent you a private message and they're responded to privately, because not everyone wants to be so public with their responses. These signals are gold. These are showing you what your audience finds useful, interesting, and relatable, and we need to make most of this. But here's where most people trip up with this process. They assume that the best content is the highly produced content, the one that takes hours. But most often, and in my case quite often, it's the simple pieces, the ones we posted quickly, the ones that came straight from the heart, that moment of, oh, I've just got to do that live or that reel or talk about that thing because it's the thing that's going to mean something to my people right now. And this test allows you to spot that. It allows you to see the content that's connected the most. And we see those patterns, and then we're able to replicate those patterns with our marketing. The goal in the end isn't to chase numbers here. It's to understand what is creating real connection with our audience so that we can do more of it and we can do it intentionally. The next test in the step is almost laughably simple, but it works every single time. We've got to ask our audience. Ask them directly, what do they want help with? Ask them directly, what are they struggling with? Ask them what they want to learn next. You can do this in a story, a post, a poll, your email list. It doesn't matter. And here's 2 easy prompts to do this. What is one thing you'd love to learn more about from me this year or in the coming months? What is the biggest challenge you have right now? And insert your topic. People are usually happy to tell you. And when they do, you'll start seeing the same themes that pop up regularly, and that starts to form our content roadmap. So you might even do this for every one of your pillars. Start asking these types of people, call out to them, say who they are, and then ask them what they want to learn. We've had clients ask their audiences simple questions about what they struggled with most, and they've come up and given them a whole year's worth of content. The overwhelming thing that I see for business owners is they just don't start. They don't ask the question. The power of asking a question makes your content intentional instead of assuming what our audience wants. So move yourself from guesswork and ask that question. The next step in finding out what our audience actually wants is the search test. And this takes us outside of our own channels for a moment because our audience is asking questions everywhere, not just on our socials. And we're going into Google and we might go, people ask, and then we put in our topic. We might have a scroll through Reddit threads. We might look at our Facebook groups and industry forums and see what people are talking into. And we listen to the conversations that are already happening. And there's another handy tool out there called Answer the Public that you can dive into and type in your keywords or your topics and run a search. And it's going to come up with a whole content word full of stuff for you. It's amazing. It's fun to do. And you will come up with lots of ideas. Then you have a look at what words are people using to describe their frustrations? What questions pop up again and again? Because you can answer those because you know they're being typed into search. And what problems are people trying to solve within your audience? When we notice these patterns, we start to speak our audience's language. We're not going to use polished marketing brain language. We use the words that they naturally use because that's the power. Because when someone hears their thoughts reflected back to them, they feel understood. And the feeling of being understood builds trust faster than any fancy headline or piece of copywriting that we can put together. When you combine all three tests of what your audience engages with, what they tell you directly that they want, and what they are asking the internet at large, this is where your marketing magic is going to happen. Your content starts to become more consistent because it's based on insight and not hope. And let's be honest, lots of us market with hope from time to time. Your messaging sharpens because you're speaking to the real needs, not the imagined ones in your head. And as business owners, we're really good at imagining what our people need from us. Your confidence will grow because you'll finally know who you're talking to and what they're asking. And you're answering their questions as if you're talking to a friend, as an educator and as a thought leader within your product and your business offering and space. So this year, if you do nothing else, please stop chasing the trends and start creating content with intention. Because honestly, the whole process feels a lot lighter. You attract the right people and you've got an audience that's engaged with you and wanting to work with you because they know that you understand them. So here's your challenge for the week ahead. Pick one of these tests and give it 10 minutes. That's it, 10 minutes of listening and you'll be amazed what you discover. Remember, it's not complicated. These are simple tests that you can do. And then do the next one the week after and the week after. And then come back together and go, okay, how's my marketing message fitting? Is it fitting consistently? What changes and what tweaks do I need to make? Because clarity isn't complicated. It's quite often consistent curiosity about our audience and what they need, and then delivering that through our marketing messages. If this video has helped you at all, please feel free to connect with me. Like, follow, subscribe, share, and let me know in the comments which one of these tests you're going to try, because I'd love to know which one spoke to you as the one that you're going to implement and action within your business. Until next time, I'm Linda Reed-Enever, and I'm Ideas and Impact Strategist, and I help you creating impact by teaching you what I do. And if you would like to know more, check out our Ideas, Impact and Marketing Circle, where I teach this stuff on a regular basis.